everyone. This is a beautiful morning and in advance to Easter. So happy Easter to everyone as well. So thank you, Sherry, for your nice introduction. Sociavi, as you said, is a Latin word that means share and unite, and it represents the mission of my company, which is to provide solutions that help people share memories, be closer together, united, even across long distances, and in the simplest way. Simplicity is the cornerstone of Sociavi. Caregiving is something I experienced all my life. Growing up in Chile, I observed my grandmother and my mother taking care of each other, supporting each other, and loving each other very much. As many Latinx families, when it comes to caregiving, for those who are sick and the elders, we don't think twice. We just care for them. My grandmother's experience was bringing her mother to live with her and her four children while being a single mother and the breadwinner of the family. In the case of my mother, she took care of my grandmother when she developed Parkinson's, while my grandmother was living over 1,600 miles away. My mother spent several months away from her home providing all the needs of my grandmother. I've been absorbing the experiences of these remarkable women and contributing to the circle of care as much as I can. My challenge is the 5,000 miles distance between us. I've been living in the US for over 25 years. I've been very fortunate to be able to travel and took care of my grandmother in several occasions. And even though it was painful to see her depart, I was with her on her last day. We were all our life, we were very close together. And it was a need for me and for her to be closer together on that day. But COVID-19 made it even more difficult caring from afar. In my case, I was unable to visit my parents for a time that I felt enormously long. Like many adult children, we're concerned about the health and well-being of our aging parents, and we struggle to find a way to extend our oversight when we cannot be there, which in my case, as a long-distance child, is a big challenge. Even though people are increasingly relying upon technology to maintain connections with family, friends, healthcare providers, and others, it has facilitated faster and more efficient communication, enabling us to share information, exchange pictures and audio and video files, and even conduct virtual conference with ease. In fact, many medical and service providers are now accessible online, and people have become more mobile. The significance of technology in our life is undeniable, and it was particularly highlighted during the COVID-19 pandemic, when it became essential for us to use technology to navigate and seamlessly transition into virtual environments. Unfortunately, not everyone is able to benefit from these technologies. In particular, the elderly, those with disabling conditions, and others are often unable to realize the technology's potential, being the learning curve associated with these systems or disabling conditions that make these technologies too cumbersome to use. The effect of this is elderly or special populations often feel left behind and isolated from the rest of the world. The mother of a friend of mine was told her, "I feel invisible. Everyone is texting or messaging each other, and I cannot." This broke my heart. Several studies have reported that isolation can have severe negative health consequences. A recent report from the National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine points out that 1 in 4 adults aged 65 and older are socially isolated. Contributing factors include living alone, the loss of family or friends, chronic illness, and hearing loss. Isolation and loneliness are major risk factors for depression and have been linked to severe long-term illnesses. Many had compared prolonged loneliness and social isolation with smoking 15 cigarettes per day. It's huge. Social isolation was associated with about a 50% increased risk of dementia, a 29% increased risk of heart disease, and a 32% increased risk of stroke. Loneliness was associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide. Loneliness among heart failure patients was associated with a nearly 4 times increased risk of death, 68% increased risk of hospitalization, and a 57% increased risk of emergency department visits. With this integration and social engagement of the elderly and special populations are critical for their physical and mental health, well-being, and quality of life. Is very, very important. With all of this in mind, I took into account my technical background and decided to develop a solution that would allow me to be closer to my parents at any time and from anywhere, and also be extremely simple for them to use. Simplicity, as I said before, is the cornerstone in order to make it accessible for them. So Xiavi was born, a dedicated device that is always on for them to enjoy. It doesn't require a username, password, or an app to choose from, and it allows aging parents and persons with disabilities to maintain the so needed communication and companionship, even in cases of diseases like Parkinson, multiple sclerosis, or dementia and Alzheimer's. Simplicity is key for them to be integrated, and that's what they need. Through Sociavi, communication between the aging adult, person with disability, and their families and caregiver is carried out in a trusted environment that is instant, secure, always available, and effortless. Our Sociavi Connect to Me C2M device allows families to connect with their loved ones far, near, simple, and globally, and they love it. I'm happy to connect with everyone. You can reach me at www.sociavi.com or at my mobile phone 732-822-2785. I truly look forward to connecting with all of you. And now Cheryl will share with all of you a short video showing how Sociavi works. Thank you very much, Cheryl, and to all of you. And I welcome all the caregivers and family members. Thank you so much.